The morning sun had barely risen over the quiet countryside when Emma stepped outside, holding her 9-month-old son, Oliver. The air smelled of fresh hay and warm earth, the kind of scent you only find on a peaceful farm. For Emma, these early mornings were a small escape. A moment to breathe before the chaos of being a first-time mom truly began. Oliver, still new to the world, blinked at the brightness, his tiny fingers curling around his mother's sweater. Across the field, grazing near an old wooden fence, stood Bruno, the family's brown horse. Bruno wasn't the fastest horse, nor the strongest, but he had a calmness about him, a gentle soul with deep brown eyes that always seemed to be paying attention. Emma hadn't properly introduced Bruno to Oliver yet. Motherhood came with 1,000 worries, and even though Bruno had never harmed a soul, she hesitated. But that morning, something in Oliver's giggle made her walk slowly toward the fence. As they approached, Bruno lifted his head. His ears perked forward, and he released a low, warm snort that echoed gently through the field. Emma paused, whispering to Oliver, "It's okay, sweetheart. It's just Bruno." The baby responded by kicking his small legs excitedly. He wasn't afraid, not even a little. In fact, he leaned forward as if he already understood something Emma didn't. Bruno began walking toward them slow, deliberate steps, almost cautious. When he stopped in front of them, he lowered his head, not toward Emma, but toward the baby. Oliver stretched out his chubby hand without hesitation. "Careful," Emma murmured, but Bruno remained perfectly still, lowering his face even more. He let Oliver's tiny fingers press against his warm muzzle. And that was the moment it happened. The moment the bond formed. Bruno let out a soft exhale, eyes half closed, as if the baby's touch eased something inside him. Oliver squealed with delight, fascinated by the horse's velvety skin and gentle breath. Emma watched, her heart caught in her throat. "You like him, don't you?" she whispered. But it wasn't just that Oliver liked Bruno. It felt deeper, as if this enormous, gentle animal recognized something familiar in the innocent child. From that day on, their routine changed. Every morning, as soon as Emma opened the back door, Bruno would already be at the fence, waiting. His ears would perk up the moment he heard Oliver's babbles. The baby, in return, would wave his arms wildly the instant he saw the horse. Emma would walk over, holding Oliver close, and each time, Bruno would lean forward so gently, as if he knew exactly how fragile the baby was. He would lower his head until it nearly touched Oliver's chest. Sometimes Oliver would place his hand between Bruno's eyes, and the horse would stand completely still, as if this tiny human had cast some magical spell over him. Weeks passed, and the bond grew stronger. If Oliver cried, Bruno reacted, pacing along the fence nervously, wondering why his small friend was upset. If Oliver laughed, Bruno would shake his head and snort happily. If Emma let Oliver sit on her lap near the grass, Bruno would lie down close by, an incredibly rare behavior for him, lowering his huge body to be on the baby's level. Neighbors noticed. Family noticed. Even the farm veterinarian said, "I've never seen him behave like that with anyone." Horses don't usually attach themselves to babies. This is something rare. One afternoon, Emma sat with Oliver near the fence. The sky was soft with sunset colors, pink, orange, lavender. Bruno approached slowly and rested his head on the fence, as if asking to be closer. Emma lifted Oliver just a little, letting him pat the horse's forehead. Oliver leaned forward, his tiny forehead brushing against Bruno's. The horse didn't move, didn't even blink. He simply accepted the gesture with a deep, quiet understanding. Emma felt tears prick the corners of her eyes. "How do you know he's a baby?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "How do you understand him better than anyone else?" Bruno exhaled, a soft, warm breath that brushed Oliver's hair. And for a brief moment the world fell silent, as if time itself paused to witness this delicate friendship. As Oliver grew, the bond only deepened. He took his first steps toward Bruno. His first laugh of the day was usually when he saw Bruno, and his first word wasn't mama or dada. It was boo, short for Bruno. Emma remembered falling to her knees in the grass, overwhelmed with emotion when she heard it. By the time Oliver was old enough to walk confidently, Bruno followed him everywhere from the other side of the fence, matching his slow toddler pace, guarding him in his calm, quiet way. There was no dramatic event, no rescue. Just a love that grew naturally, softly, deeper than anyone expected. A bond built from innocence and gentleness. It became the story everyone in the region talked about, the unusual friendship between a little boy and a brown horse who understood him long before he understood the world. And even years later, when Oliver grew taller, learned to run, learned to speak, that gentle bond remained. Unbroken, unchanged, unforgettable. Because sometimes the most powerful love stories aren't about saving a life. They're about touching one. And Bruno touched Oliver's life in a way no one else ever would. Thanks for watching.